Hello guys, and it's Glenn Anderson here. So another video for the fans. So this is restoration phase week 2 day 3 now. Starting off with a sled push. I've got just a 25 kilo weight plate on there, so 10 metres out, 10 metres back, 20 metres altogether, and then 5 inchworms. That represents 1 rep. I was supposed to actually do 10 sets of this, but it was absolutely brutal. So I pussied out at just 6 sets, so I'll stop there. But it's my first time doing it, and I was absolutely sweating profusely after this. I did find it quite hard going, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this again. So next time I'll probably do 7, and then just try and gradually build my way up until I can do 10, no problem. Because I did find this harder than it should have been. After this, I did rear foot elevated split squats. Again, I found this quite difficult actually. Notice I've got my hands down by my sides because in my mind I'm trying to imagine that I'm deadlifting myself up. I found this quite difficult as well, to be honest. I was supposed to do 3 sets of 8, but the first set I only did 5 reps each leg, and then the second set I only did 6. But again, I'll be doing this again, so I'm just going to try and build up to where I can do 3 sets of 8 comfortably. I weighed myself yesterday. I'm 322 pounds or 146 kilos. I'm 23 stone, and so when you're as heavy as I am, you don't really need load when you do this exercise. It's hard enough for me as it is just doing it like this, so I didn't really use any load with the exercise, to be honest. It's my first time doing this, and I did find it quite hard going. And then after this, the vertical depth jump. So off a 20-inch box, little bit of balance there, and then I jump up when I hit the bottom. This was for 4 sets of 2, and I did do all 4 sets. This is the first set. The jumps there a bit crap really. I was probably jumping about 6 inches, if that. Once I land on the bottom, I'm trying to make a conscious effort to try and jump as high as I can, but again, weighing 23 stone, that's no easy task. This is the 4th and final set here. Maybe I should have used a lower box, I don't know, but again, first time really doing this, to be honest, but it felt okay. And then after this, medicine ball throws. So this is basically just a prime for the push press. In order to push as high as possible, you need to notice there that my feet are coming off the floor. I'm trying to push press it up, so I'm pushing it and moving my feet at the same time. I did 5 sets of that, but I only filmed 1 because it's pretty much the same thing, and I used a 7 kilo medicine ball there. And then moving on to that, close grip bench press, 3 sets of 15, and doing it 90-90 so that the hips are in line, and I'm not using any leg drive whatsoever. This is just pure tricep power. I've never done this before, so I started conservatively at 60 kilos, and that was quite easy. So I went up to 80. Notice as well, I'm not using any equipment, no elbow sleeves, no knee wraps. On the MST, Shane says that you're not to use any equipment on this, and to be honest, with most of the restoration phase, I tried not to use any equipment where I don't have to. The purpose of this basically is just to try and pre-fatigue the triceps, so that when I go on to push press, which will be coming up after this, the triceps are already fatigued before I even start doing that. So this is the 3rd and final one. Just went up to 90 kilos. This was quite a bit challenging, I will admit, but again, a few more reps in the tank. The purpose weren't to take it to failure, but just to try and pre-fatigue the triceps. So 90 kilos seemed to be a suitable load for that, so there was no point in going higher. And now, of course, going on to the push press itself. So the program called for 10 sets of 4, but the purpose of this is to do it with speed. Again, notice I'm not using any equipment, no wrist wraps, no elbow sleeves. I'm not even wearing a belt at this point. And with this, the idea is just to push press it as fast as possible, and then when it comes down, try and catch it. And this is basically just to work on my push press really, and try to be as explosive as absolutely possible. I've done Swiss bar push press before, but not quite in this manner where I'm doing it, trying to do it for speed, for explosive power. So with this, the weight doesn't really matter too much. I'm just doing restoration, so I'm keeping the weight light. I'm not chasing weight. this is just about trying to move the bar as fast as absolutely possible, being as explosive as possible. When I feel that my speed is slowing down, then that's when I will make lower weight jumps, or maybe even keep the weight the same. So again, I'm still not using a belt. The reason that I'm using a Swiss bar is because where possible I'm trying to use a neutral grip. I've got a bit of a dodgy left wrist at the moment. I mean, even doing this I could feel my wrist a little bit, but it would have hurt more if I'd have used a barbell, and it definitely would have hurt more if I'd have used an axle. For some reason, when I use an axle, it seems to trigger my wrist pain, and sometimes it can be quite painful. Notice I've now gone to a belt. I was going up in 10 kilo increments, but with the 77 it did feel like I was slowing down a little bit there. So instead of going to 87, I just, instead of increasing by 10 kilos, I increased by 5. And now here I've only increased by 2.5. Now I'm only up to 84.5. But again, the weight doesn't really matter. I can do much. This is a lightweight for me, but again, this is just about speed and about moving the implement as fast as possible. So this is the 10th and final one. So I finished on 87. And yeah, it felt comfortable. Again, just trying to move it as fast as possible. Next time I probably will increase the weight slightly, but if I do, it'll probably only be like 89 or something like that. It'll be minimal. And then after that, did some calf raises. I was quite fatigued at this point from all the work that I'd done. So with this, the program calls for 3 sets. You do 15 reps calf raise. And as you can see, I'm standing on a 20 kilo plate there. Again, when you're as big as me, you don't really need to use a lot of load, and I was quite fatigued here. So, and then after that, you move on and do some tib raises. This is something I've never really done before, to be honest. So 15 reps of calf raises, 15 reps of tib raises, and then you do 3 sets of that. Although I will confess, I only did 2 sets. Just couldn't be bothered, really. I know that sounds lazy, and it was lazy of me to do it. I should have done 3. Next time I will. I would like to say as well, as you probably know, I don't film everything, so there's probably a lot there that I do that you haven't seen, but I tried to get as much in today as I could. And then after that, you're supposed to sprint on an assault bike and do 60 calories for time. So as you can see, I'm programming the machine there, but instead of using an assault bike, I just decided to use the stationary bike. And here I'm just going as fast as I possibly can, trying to burn 60 calories as fast as I can. I tried to show the readout as best as I could, but obviously my arm being in the way. So on the right you'll see that little 9 there, now it's just flipped to 10, that's how many calories. So I've got to keep going until I've burnt 60 calories. To the left of it you'll see 122, that's basically revs per minute or rotations per minute. I did at my highest I think I got 153, but if you notice I've slowed down now to 112. I've already burnt 18 calories already. And there we are, if you see I did 0.68 kilometres. So the one in the centre, you can't quite see it because my arm is there, but that's the distance. And then lower down where the water bottle is, you can't see it, but that's the time that I've been going for. As you can see, there we are, 0.88 kilometres, 0.9 kilometres. As you can see, I'm moving very quickly. My revs never get above 100. So I'm just trying to go as quickly as possible for time. As you see, I'm now up to 28 calories. 29, so I'm nearly halfway there. I've never really done this before. I do use the stationary bike, but that's normally for a warm-up. But just finishing off here as per the programme. So today was day 3, so the next session will be day 4, and I will probably do that on Thursday. I think there's 4 weeks to the restoration phase on the MST app. And then after that I'll be moving on to the accumulation, which I'm looking forward to because I would like to start lifting heavy again. But the purpose of this restoration phase is basically just to make you a better athlete, to, you know, increase your conditioning, to you know, train your feet and train your balance, and just try and be better, really. So that's what I'm trying to do. The restoration phase is basically your reset, basically. And Shane recommends that you do it, and I'm definitely doing the restoration phase because, you know, I peaked recently, if you've seen my videos, and yeah, so now I'm just I'll say not going for any heavy weight really, just trying to keep it light and just focus on just getting better and feeling better and trying to drop a bit of weight. I've reduced my calories to 4,000 now. When I was peaking I was getting on for 5,000, but since I'm doing the restoration phase I don't need to eat so much, so I've brought that down a bit. So I've done just over 2 kilometres here, 2.1 kilometres. Revs are still at 107. I've burnt 54 calories, so another 6 to go and then I can finish. So I did the 60 calories, I did it in 3 minutes and 17, and I finished up at 2.42 kilometres, which is a mile and a half. So I did a mile and a half in 3 minutes 17, so I worked that out on average about 27.4 on average. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you soon.